The story of a recovering addict is often one of struggle, self-discovery, and resilience. It begins in many places, but it's almost always marked by a time of loss, confusion, and pain. A recovering addict with past trauma is often layered with both pain and strength. It's a journey, not only of overcoming addiction, but also of healing wounds that run deeper than substance use alone. The journey of a recovering addict with a history of SA is often incredibly complex, marked by deep pain, self-blame, and a constant struggle for self-worth. Let me tell you my story. She was just a child when the abuse started. It came from someone she trusted, and it left a lasting imprint on her sense of safety and self-worth. For years, she felt trapped in a world where her pain was invisible to everyone around her. She didn't understand what was happening to her, but she knew it was wrong. When she tried to tell someone, she was dismissed, so she buried it deep inside. By her teenage years, she had learned to cope with the trauma in ways that seemed to give her control, by using drugs. The substances made the feelings of worthlessness, confusion, and shame fade, even if it was just for a little while. It gave her an escape from the constant replay of the traumatic memories. But what started as temporary relief turned into full-blown addiction. Her use of substances became a way to drown out the noise in her head, a way to silence the memories of her abuse. She couldn't look at her past without feeling overwhelmed, and addiction was a way to survive it. She began to feel even more isolated, like she was losing control over her own life. She entered toxic relationships, engaging in behaviors that reminded her of the powerlessness she felt as a child. Her self-esteem continued to plummet, and she felt like she was constantly spiraling further away from the woman that she once hoped to become. One night, after a particularly bad relapse, she realized that her addiction wasn't the real problem. It was a symptom of the trauma she had never dealt with. It was a way to avoid the pain she had buried for years. She entered the rehab program, but this time, she wasn't just there to stop using drugs. She was ready to face the deeper issues that had led her down the path in the first place. The recovery process was slow and filled with setbacks. She had moments where she felt like giving up. Moments where she had attempted to fall back into old habits. But with the support of her friends, kids, therapists, support groups, and new tools to cope with the trauma, she began to heal. She learned that healing wasn't linear. There were good days and bad days, moments of progress, and times when she felt lost. But each day, clean, was an achievement, and each day she faced her trauma was a step toward freedom. My story isn't a fairy tale, but it's a story of transformation. Over time, I began to rebuild my sense of self-worth. I learned that the abuse wasn't my fault, and that my addiction had never been my identity. I had been through hell, but I didn't have to stay there. Recovery became about reclaiming my life, about rediscovering who I was without the chains of addiction and trauma.